Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
What I said was I was joking.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders, let's talk Penguins and Rangers, but let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
No Jack Tuesday on the Friends and Rivals podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Harkness. Joining me each week are
Steven Welsh.
Phil Fougere.
Nick Larita.
Is anybody jacking tonight?
No, it's Jack Tuesday, baby.
No Jack Tuesday. No Jack Tuesday. Yeah, it's the worst day of the year for me.
Jesus. No carbs, no Jack? Man, what are you going to do?
He's missing out on a hotel room Jack, too. The best kind.
I'm on decongestants. It usually doesn't end well for me anyway when I try. So I just
you
skip
just
it
try and
altogether.
fall asleep, or did you just know to no avail?
Yeah, just
like
you just work and nothing comes of it. You know, it's just
it's like a wet spaghetti noodle.
Yeah.
Oh, no lead in the pencil. Oh boy. All right, so I have prepared zero for this tonight. Literally zero. That I don't even know if there's going to be a Steve Stomach tonight. Unbelievable.
Do you want me to take over as host?
No, we've done that before. That just is no bueno. But I think we got to start with the elephant in the room, and that was the NHL All-Star Weekend. Now, listening to a lot of podcasts, listening to reports on the Twix, it was a huge success for the NHL. And
Really?
Is it the media trying to diffuse everything that's going on with the London story, or is the NHL All-Star Game actually a thing again because everything went so well? Which one do you think is it?
I mean, I think it's got to be part of it that, they had celebrity coaches, but Bieber, obviously the focal point. Games were pretty good, I guess, not too bad. And All-Star competition was a better product, seemingly all around. I mean,
only if you're not a fan of Nikita Kucherov.
Well, I don't think Nikita Kucherov was a fan of Nikita Kucherov that night, to be honest. I don't think he wanted to be there very much.
No, it did not look like he wanted to be there that much, but who did want to be there was Connor McDavid to show that he does have skills, and he is without question one of them, if not one of the most highly skilled NHL players I've ever seen.
I don't think it's a question. I think he's clearly the guy. Like, I think Crosby's the only guy I can think of in the modern era, or at least in the last 20 years, and then you can go back and there's plenty of very skilled players we could talk about. The Bures.
I don't think that they were
Gretzkys,
as skilled and as graceful as McDavid is.
It's
overall.
It's the
overall,
package,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you think of Bure, he was so fast, just vertical, stick handling, shot, but dude, the way that all the things that McDavid puts together, it's just it's a cheat code. It's like he's good at everything. It didn't matter what he chose on the 4 of 6 things. He just was like, all right, I'll just do anything that I want to do, and I'll just win all of them. Basically, that's super impressive. Now, caveat is that he did have a little bit of input into all of the events, especially the last event. So he kind of knew it was coming, and he might have practiced a little bit so he doesn't look foolish in his own events.
Probably how he prepares every single day. So
right.
Nothing has really changed, right? So did anybody watch any of the skills competition? I caught bits and pieces of it. I do have it on recording. I can go back and watch the DVR recording of it. But I caught little bits and pieces of it. But when I caught up to it, it didn't seem like Crosby was participating in a lot. Did he lose and not gain enough points to make it, or was he just there and sitting on the bench and talking to everybody?
I don't think he was in it.
I don't think
I didn't think it was in it.
No, it wasn't. He wasn't part of it.
He wasn't part of it at all?
No.
No, you're right. He wasn't. You're right. He wasn't part of it at all. But it was just odd, though, that he was there in uniform, and even Bedard being there and in uniform was a little odd if you're not going to be participating in it. I know Crosby took a lot of shit for going to Montana at the Wolf Conservatory and doing all his thing on the outdoor rink and everything else like that, but he couldn't be at the draft, and he took a lot of shit for that.
Were there other players there not in uniform?
Jack
wasn't participating though.
Oh, he left after the draft.
So
right?
did they do some sort of intros? They might have done some sort of player intros that night. And maybe that's why he was all dressed up.
Well, they were all there basically dressed up. But
why Bedard? Why Bedard
he was doing the passing? He was doing the passing. They participated a little bit, but not like the main 12 guys doing the actual, competition stuff. So
But why does Connor Bedard get a pass and nobody says shit about him going out there and passing?
He's injured.
But if Hughes did that, he would have gotten shit for it.
If he did the passing, I don't think anybody would have cared.
You don't think?
No.
I don't know.
No, it was the rest of this. If he did the rest of the stuff, it would have been a problem.
Yeah.
Listen, I get Bedard is just a jaw, and Hughes is a shoulder. We presume it's a shoulder for Hughes. But if he took part in the fastest skating and all that wouldn't have been all right. And it doesn't affect what he's doing on the shoulder.
Well, he could fall.
No, it could fall.
Yeah, I mean, they're going fast, dude. It's not.
It's a good skater.
All out. Yeah, he probably would.
But in everybody's defense, Hughes seems to fall a lot on the ice. So I do see that from time to time for sure. So I'm not saying he dives or anything to draw penalties. I'm just saying when he's out there, it's like you always say with Barzell, he moves too fast for his body.
Yeah.
And maybe he just needs to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
But when you're skating at that speed, it's hard to slow down, right? But for everything, $1 million went to Connor McDavid. And listen, he just proved again that he is top notch in the NHL.
And the NHL stepped up and did have a goalie competition, right?
Yeah. Alex Georgiev. Well,
they read our Twixes and they were like, oh, wait, we can't be outdone. We'll throw $100,000 to the best goalie.
I didn't think I saw that on Twix anywhere. They probably just did it that.
It was never mentioned. It was never mentioned before that.
No, but Alex Georgiev of Colorado won with 9 saves, so he got the $100,000. So that alleviates us for our donation. So
we don't have to. Yeah,
we're good.
Lumped in with that $100,000 is our 50.
We are absolved of all of this. And then the next day came the All-Star game. Now the All-Star game, I want to say thank God that I was able to DVR it and not watch it live. I didn't like the fact that after someone scored a goal, like it was the second game. It was the second game in the beginning of the second period, and they were gone through like 6 minutes to where they couldn't get anybody to score a goal. And it was just really dragging on back and forth. And then someone scored a goal, and then bam, right to commercial they went. Yeah. I don't like the fact that just use the goal scoring to just go to commercial. I didn't like that. But I thought overall the game's actually pretty competitive, and there were people that was actually trying in out there. The team Matthews was definitely trying, and I know they also took a lot of shit for maybe doing some rough stuff during the face-offs.
Hometown boy, listen, you knew they were going to try.
They were out there, and it was good to see that they weren't like going in the corners and hitting people, but you could see that they were actually trying a little bit.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, that's what made the All-Star game better, is when they were actually competing and trying and not just fucking lollygagging it. And I don't think any team there lollygagged it.
Plus, they knew they weren't going to have to do it for a couple of years.
Well, you think that was it?
Yeah, they're like, we just.
That brings it up now too. Now that the All-Star game suddenly has some steam, I'm just going to shelf it for the next 2 years.
Go out on a high. I think that was more the philosophy.
Always want them wanting. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, yep.
you're gonna need. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what are they gonna do in the meantime? So they're
gonna have that international face-off.
Four nations tournament.
Four nations face. No, it's Four Nations face-off. That's it.
Yeah, something like that. Four
nations faces. And then they're gonna have the
and then the
Olympics. And then in 27 they'll go back to the All-Star game.
Okay, so
I hear it's going to be in Chicago, Wrigley Field. They're going to do the winter, like another winter classic, but the All-Star game.
Yeah, Chicago, St. Louis, right?
They should get it. They should get it every year.
Well, how many times? This is Chicago's.
I don't know, 18.
Well, you can't mix Stadium Series with Winter Classics either. I think they had a couple of Stadium Series.
Whatever.
Outdoor game's an outdoor game, man. Yeah, there's other teams that haven't played in an outdoor game. You can't just keep recycling the same.
Oh, hey, if you order your Stadium Series gear from the NHL shop, you will get it after the game. So good job. Good job, everybody. Well done. Just annoying. They took so freaking long to freaking do any of that shit.
And then impressive. So I'm sure none of you paid attention to the drama like I did, but they initially released only Hischier and Hughes with no indication that they were going to do anybody else.
What do you mean, jerseys for sale?
Yeah, for jerseys.
Oh,
so when they sold out, they released the rest of the players. And when they were almost all sold out, they announced that you could get blanks as well.
Oh, that's great. Now, were they sold with the Stadium Series patch? Because I saw there was some jerseys that were not sold with the Stadium Series patch. That is a patch you have to purchase separately.
That I don't. Well, it would make sense because they're wearing it one other time.
Other time. The primary use of that jersey is for the Stadium Series. And if I'm not getting the patch, I'm pissed. After spending $279 on that jersey, it better come with a goddamn patch.
It's going to come with a patch, a big NJ right on the front.
No, that you have to buy the Stadium Series patch to go on the shoulder, which is bullshit. Hilarious though, at the MSG store, someone put online, they saw a Stadium Series jersey with 93 in Zibanejad on the nameplate, and then 23 on the sleeves.
Oh, nice.
Hilarious. I was like, did the Fanatics make that jersey? Because that would be...
Is Cosby still there? Is Cosby still there?
No, sadly.
Maybe Bill Cosby made that one.
Oh, too soon.
No, it's
too soon.
He's still with us? No? Is he not with us?
Well, he's in jail. What's the difference?
No, he's out of jail.
He's out
of prison.
What?
Yeah.
He's out of prison? They let him out?
All he did was rape 35 women. I mean, how long do you want them to keep him there?
You're right.
Oh my God.
Stupid me. How silly of me. Oy. But good for the NHL, good for the All-Star game to at least as much as I have killed it on this podcast, and I think we all had. It was halfway decent. Good job.
It was watchable. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it.
Yeah, I was out.
Not tuning in.
Catching things that looked pretty good.
Tate McRea, she's an attractive lady.
Hold on. So, all right. So we got to talk about Tate McRea.
Oh, okay, good.
I literally have never heard the name Tate McRea until she became one of the captains. And then her performance before the championship game. Bravo, Tate McRea. Bravo. Have you guys heard of her?
Not before this.
Don't really follow her career very much, but heard of her, yeah. I've heard of her.
I've heard of her now. Bravo.
Yes.
Well done.
She's a
well
singer?
Done. Sure.
Whatever. She's whatever.
Okay. Sure.
Is that?
Sure.
Fine. No problem.
Okay.
She might as well be a dancer too, apparently. But God bless her. God bless her. So other things that are kind of driving me batty right now is Twitter's becoming sometimes unreadable because my timeline is filled with all of these these mock trades that are just literally driving me crazy. Like people want to sell their souls. People want to sell their souls for Frank Vetrano. And look, I don't think the Rangers can go wrong by reacquiring Frank Vetrano, but that line in the playoffs of Kreider, Zibanejad, and Vetrano were 42 out of 45 lines in the playoffs 2 years ago. So careful what you wish for. And I know that's going to push Blake Wheeler down, and Blake Wheeler looks like he's skating in mud. I get all that. But my God, he is not the second coming of Jesus Christ. You're not trading Kakko in a first to get Frank Vetrano. Calm the fuck down.
It is funny sometimes how much these marginal players are put on a pedestal, like a Vetrano or like Adam Henrique in Devil's Land. Like he's not going to move the needle.
He's going to get a first round pick.
Yeah, I know. Oh, absolutely. He's going to get Anaheim a first round pick. Yeah, but
the Elias Lindholm and then or the other guy from Montreal, Sean Monahan. Monahan, second line, he's going to play. I mean, I don't know necessarily. He is not a first round draft pick guy you trade for. Jake Gensel is a guy you give up a first round draft pick for and a top prospect. Elias Lindholm, who's having a down year, maybe he gets a spark in Vancouver, but not Sean Monahan getting a first round pick going back to Montreal. No way. I don't care how desperate you are, Winnipeg. And it's not helping you tonight because you're down 3-1 to the Penguins right now. So it's obviously not helping you all that much right now. As I say that, Sean Moynihan's going to score a hat trick. Sorry, Billy.
Probably.
But they just gotta. There's two names that are on my radar for the Rangers, and if it happens, I think it puts them back into the upper echelon category because it increases their depth a great deal. And that is, if you can get Vetrano back to play comfortably with Kreider and Zibanejad, great, you get them, but not at a first-round pick. And if there's any way you could possibly get Boone Jenner, holy crap, that puts your team in a stratosphere like you wouldn't believe. But I don't think a first-round draft pick you send to Columbus for fucking Boone Jenner. I'm sorry. He's a third-line guy at best. And I get he's a center, but my God in heaven, would Boone Jenner actually yield a first-round draft pick? In this day,
whatever, it's what the market is dictating so far.
It's completely batshit crazy. We thought the market was going to be incensed for goaltending.
Yeah.
And it's obviously centers. Holy crap. And it's
always centers
out of nowhere.
Centers are really important in the league. I mean, but defensemen and centers.
Why? Because they win faceoffs. We have proven faceoffs mean nothing in this league.
It strengthens the
I think it's also the versatility. You could take a center and throw him on wing with no problem. Right?
You want to have.
I agree. What I said was I was joking.
But I'm with you. I mean, you can't pay a first round for him and then feel good about it in the offseason unless you win the cup. If you don't win the cup and you've given up a first rounder for Boone Jenner, you're going to be fucking kicking your own ass on draft day.
No question about it. And then comes the post today of James Dolan not wanting to trade his 2024 first round draft pick because the draft is going to be held at the Sphere in Las Vegas and he wants the Rangers to be part of it. So we're not going to jeopardize our 2024 first round draft pick for anybody. Maybe a 2025 you can get, but not the 2024. Could he trade Kaapo Kakko for a first round pick and then trade his own pick or trade that pick or do something? Yes. But you can count on the Rangers having a 2024 first round
at least one pick with theirs or not.
Yep. So at least the Rangers have a pick on that first night so they could be part of the festivities.
Are they not going to be invited?
Have you ever heard?
Is that, I don't understand this.
No.
I heard this.
Of course you're invited.
They're going to be there. Why? Dolan's like, we got to be there.
They do not get to go up to the podium on that first night of the draft.
Well, you know what?
Every sport other than fucking baseball for some reason has this in-person big to-do attached to it.
Baseball is 143 rounds. I think.
Yeah, nobody wants
the
to
first round, but the first round pick.
If Dolan is that fucking concerned, why not tank the fucking season and get the first pick?
Yeah, what the fuck is the point?
Then you're the headliner.
I don't
think he understands. The draft, headline the fucking draft.
I honestly think he's so like completely out there. He's like, we're not going to be invited if we don't have a first round pick. And they're like, listen, we'll be there. Everybody has a table. He'll be like, you can't not have a first.
You own the fucking building, sir. You will be there.
Yeah, he's a dumbass.
It's a dope.
So does he own the building? Is that the other thing to it?
Oh, yeah.
MSG
owns the Sphere.
So
yes.
he's going to go up there and make the whole speech or some bullshit. He's got to be there. Maybe he's going to announce the pick or something. You know, who knows? What a dick.
Oh, I don't.
He's an idiot.
I've never seen an owner ever announce the pick.
If you want to play devil's advocate, he has now put a premium on their first round pick.
Right? You know what? You're 100.
I'm only going to give up my first round pick unless you fucking wow me.
You're right. I wasn't thinking it that way. Holy shit.
But Dolan's not that fucking smart.
Don't give him that much credit.
Dolan's not that
please
smart.
stop.
No,
stop trying to give him any credit.
No. I would say it's the opposite effect. That if they want to trade their first, they need a first. And now everyone knows that they're going to pay more for it if that was the case. Because if they want to go get a first, you have to find some way. If they want to trade Kako, they ain't getting a first anymore.
Probably
you know
not.
Right. Now I'm only offering a second. Now I'm only offering you a second.
Right. And they'd be like, we need a first for Dolan. They'd be like, go fuck yourself.
Nope. But everybody in this league bends over backwards to help each other anyway.
Enjoy your sexual assault, James Dolan. You're getting a second round pick.
Yeah.
Wait till the Vince McMahon stories come out about him. Maybe he's the one that shit on Vince McMahon.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah.
I know about Vince McMahon.
Okay.
I don't know the entire story about
that.
I know something about he hired some chick, tried to hook him up with Brock Lesnar or some bullshit that.
No. Right? He partook in a threesome where duty was flung around.
Vince?
He pooped on.
Yes.
He defecated on one of the party members' heads.
Yes. While he was performing.
Well, performing something.
He's a talented guy.
I don't know that my body can't bend that way. Really?
Well, no, not exactly. Well, you probably have to think of it differently. I'm sure we're not going to get into
this. How do you want me to think of this? Was he laying down? Was he on top? Was it doggy? I mean, what are we doing here?
We went straight to
Which one was
segment.
it?
This is the segment. This is the Steve Stomach segment.
What day? Right what day? I'll get out my calendar.
I think
did he come or what?
This is more
obviously, Bill.
I think it's more of a rusty trombone scenario.
But I don't understand how he could be performing and then defecate on somebody.
I'll check in with him next time I see him.
Okay.
I'll ask him for the logistics, just for you.
I'm looking at my hotel room bed right now, and I don't see any way that I can position myself.
We'll draw you stick figures later. We'll draw you stick figures later. Yeah, it's okay.
God bless you, Vince. Holy hell. Was Brock Lesnar involved though?
Oh, that I don't know. I just
who knows?
Stopped something reading after that.
But I don't know. Yeah.
Ay. So what's annoying you on your timeline for your deadline moves? Yeah, Steve, go ahead. Sure. Or Nick.
You go.
You spoke. I did already.
Okay. I go. You go. I go.
You go.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know.
I go?
This is
you go. Show prep.
You go. Me go?
Excellent.
Okay, I'll go. Kidding.
All right. So anyway, Isles are, I don't know, hard to say. It seems like this is a very likely scenario that we're gonna have to make a move for something. I honestly don't know what to do here because Wah is just getting the team back together healthy, and I'll talk about that later in my segment. But long story short,
too late.
The team is basically coming back together. New coach, just gelling. Do they go and get a defenseman like a Chris Tanev? Do they try and go get guy in the third line like a Vetrano. I mean, they have a first round pick, and we all know that Lou likes
itching to trade it away.
He don't care about going up there. He's just happy to be in the. He's happy to get the buffet, right? He doesn't care about going up on the stage. So we'll see. I have the feeling he's going to make a move. I mean, this is a win now mode team. But what he's done is if he's made these trades, he's always gotten them with term or re-signed them. So if he's going to make a move, he's only going to try to make a move and re-sign the contract. That seems like what he's been, if he's going to move the first. So he could go, I feel like he could go for a defenseman. He could go for a Tanev and for the first if we need to. Hopefully if he could pull it off with a second, that'd be so much better. I wouldn't have any problem, of course. But nevertheless, I think that would be the only move that makes the most sense to me, is either moving for a guy to replace or have a Riley or Mayfield, or basically just have a real sixth defenseman that could slot in and basically shore up defense. Or you could potentially go for a guy who could play on the third line with Wahlstrom basically being, I don't know. I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's an AHLer at this point. And you could put Fasching in that spot when he's back in the lineup. But really, I think Holmstrom, Pajot, and the third line guy that could really make a difference. That's better. Could potentially make that play and maybe even move up on the second line if he needed to. So I think that's really the position that's more important than defense. I think Riley's fine, to be honest, but I'm not the guy. I don't know what they're gonna look at. But personally, I'd like to see them get that third line guy kind of more. Let's get that guy and don't trade the first. That's my hope. We'll see. Probably first for somebody I don't want. But what are you gonna do?
That first round draft pick is burning a hole in his pocket right now. He has to go out and spend that 20 in his pocket right now.
He has to. Oh my God.
Steve, what's in Devil Land?
So along the same lines as Nick was saying, Tanev has been a name that's been thrown around a lot. That's really what they need. They need defensive defensemen. I guess Bonino went on unconditional waivers today. It's another name that's floating around. That's that's a risk-free acquisition. Just pay his salary, right? And
but I don't understand if people that are going to pick him up right now and negotiate a new contract. He was only making what, $25,000 over the league minimum.
Yeah,
I just don't understand why people just didn't claim him.
Well, that's why I'm hoping the Devils do, because he would fill that McLeod spot pretty good. A nice fourth line defensive forward, penalty killer. That's, again, it's just holes there. It's either that or it's Henrique. Henrique would fill the same hole at a much steeper salary. Now, Henrique definitely gives you more offensive upside, but again, is that the position is that the hole you're trying to fill? But between needing defensemen and needing goaltending, it's going to cost them a lot. They got $11 million in cap space with Hamilton going on long-term injured reserve, but I don't know if they're going to spend it all in acquiring one of those two positions or what they're going to do.
Well, is Hamilton due to come back before the playoffs?
Not before the playoffs, no.
Okay, then you're fine. You can spend his entire cap hit.
And then I don't know, what are the assets going the other way? Is it going to be a Nemec? Is it going to be a Mercer? Is it going to be a pick? Is it going to, it's hard. I don't want to give up on Nemec. I don't want to give up on Mercer, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's, obviously what people are going to be asking for.
No question.
So.
And Bill Gensel was rejected 6 years contract from the Pens. I tried to find what the number was.
Because it was not true, because it was a rumor that was unsubstantiated, as it turns out. Yeah, and before the All-Star break, there was a lot of talk that Gensel had rejected 6 years at $8.5 million annual. And since then, both the Penguins and Gensel's camp have come back and said that there were no such discussions. So we don't really know where that stands right now. It could be one of those things where sometimes teams go, well, our trade acquisition at the deadline is going to be the guy that we have right now.
Right.
That bullshit line, which is always fucking horseshit. But if the Penguins are fancying making a run at the playoffs, then Gensel's the last guy that they're going to trade away. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I mean they're not going to do it without him. So if they think that they've seriously got a shot at making the playoffs, they're not going to go that route. But if they do end up, making that deal with Gensel, obviously they're going to want to prospect back. If there's anything that they could use right now, it would be like a second line defenseman, somebody to kind of bolster what's going on there, because Graves just isn't what he was cracked up to be, and the third line is not that good. They could really use some depth there. So I'd say that's I don't see big moves from the Penguins. If they do trade Gensel, they're obviously giving up on the whole playoff dream, which I wouldn't blame them for doing, but I don't know that they're there yet.
Listen, the Penguins got 3 games in hand on Detroit, and at 53 points, they need to make up 5 points in order to catch Detroit. Devils are in a worse position by a game, but you get Jack back this week, probably. So that's
going to be the Devils' big trade deadline acquisition, Jack.
But he's definitely going to add some offensive punch to your team for sure.
Yeah.
Not that they need it tonight, but what? Nah.
You always need it's Colorado. It's 3-1. 3-1 becomes 3-3 in a hurry. Come on.
Yeah.
Plus, Colorado's about to go on the power play.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Let's take a ride in the Metro.
Didn't we just do
that? Sponsored by Rich Wholesome Nestle Quick.
Hello, boys and girls. Do you hate the taste of regular milk and need energy? Try Nestle Quick. One sip and you can feel the energy in your muscles. Nestle Quick, now available in chocolate and strawberry.
They say the real men drink pink. Then I'm a real man for sure. But if you like the brown, I still love you for who you are. Because it's time for acceptance of everyone, all preference. We're all quick on the inside anyway. Nestle Quick, it does the trick.
Didn't we just
I have absolutely no idea where anybody finished.
Well, why don't you start?
Why don't I start?
Yeah.
Let's start with your first place in the Metro Division, New York Rangers. Come back from the All-Star break. I guess we have to do a couple games prior to the All-Star break, huh? Since we missed our last showing. Why not? Why not? So where did we leave everybody?
Oh God, it was 6 weeks ago.
It feels like it was fucking longer than that. They came back on Friday and took a shit against Vegas, and they went to Ottawa and just annihilated the Senators 7-2. A little payback from the 6-2 drubbing they got a while back from Ottawa, but that's how they closed out the quote unquote unofficial first half of the season. And then they went on their leave and the break. We talked about this when before it happened, but that break could not come at a better time for the Rangers. I think it gave everybody a little bit of a mental reset. Maybe not Trocheck and Igor going and doing the skills competition and the coach and Laviolette going up there. Maybe not those guys, but the rest of the team. It seems like it certainly gave them a little bit of a reset, which was good. So they come back out of the break against Colorado last night, and actually pretty competitive game. Although in the first period it didn't look competitive. Rangers really didn't have the wheels that Colorado showed for sure. But the Rangers started playing a lot better in the second period after making some adjustments in the first. And then, Artemi Panarin late in the third period scores a humongous goal to tie the game at 1. And they win it in overtime on a goal by Alexei Lafreniere. Jonathan Quick got the start and was stellar in this game, as he has been all season long. And you know what? He was the first goalie off today in practice, which usually means he's going to be in the starting net again against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I think this is absolutely the right move. You go with the hot guy, and you hope this lights a spark on the Shesterkin. And if it doesn't, I don't know if he's worth more than his current contract at $5.5 million when his contract is up for renewal, unless he turns it around. I know we're so way far off of that. And you got to believe that Igor is going to be Igor again. And when playoff time comes, Shesterkin's going to be in the starting net. You got to believe that. But if he doesn't, it's good to know that you've got a veteran, a solid veteran, at least this year so far, in Jonathan Quick, who can take over and be your goalie. And if he gets the hot hand during the playoffs, then so be it. Just ride whoever you could possibly ride. But they got Tampa on Wednesday night, Chicago on Friday night before returning home against the not very fundamentally sound Calgary Flames on Monday evening. And now I said that, they're going to beat the doors pants off the Rangers on Monday, I'm sure. But that's coming up. A lot more, Twitter GMs going to happen on the Twix. Should be a very exciting and adventurous week up until the trade deadline on March the 8th.
Did Artemi squeeze out that baby?
I have to think so.
Skip the All-Star game. You better have the kid. Skip the All-Star game.
His wife did.
Oh.
So I would assume that
congrats on that
as planned. But there was oddly nothing posted by the Rangers. Typically, Rangers PR does something to congratulate their players on the birth of a new child. They did it when Trouba and somebody else had babies. I think it was a Benedjet or somebody like that had babies back to back. But I didn't see anything. Maybe it's going to come relatively soon. All right, Steve, you can go now.
Okay. Devils won some. They lost some. They're playing tonight. They're up 3-1. They've got Calgary on Thursday, at Carolina on Saturday, back home for Seattle on Monday, and then at Nashville next Tuesday.
Ooh. That was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was so long ago. This is their first game back. They haven't played in 10 days. Expect me to remember?
Yeah, look at the schedule.
No, fuck that. Who's next?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Nick.
All right. We already covered the All-Star game. The only thing we didn't really talk about, or I mentioned, was Barzal. Obviously got 5th, I think, overall in the skills competition. Played pretty well. He was actually, I think, out 2nd in the comp skills until he.
If you ever traded for DeBrincat or like Forsberg from Nashville, holy shit! Barzal just seems to play way out of his head with those guys. I get it. It was an All-Star game.
That's always great at All-Star games. You're like, oh, he plays well with him. We should get him.
True.
But listen, he did show that he had chemistry with those guys for sure.
I mean, of course. I mean, just putting
stop
Horvat on that line.
Fucking laughing, Bill.
Putting Horvat on the line has been a big change for him. Getting someone that caliber. But anyway, so he played well. Obviously, it was interesting. He picked in the 1-on-1s. He picked Igor Shesterkin to go 1-on-1 against to get some little bit of rivalry going with the Isles and Rangers.
I like that a lot.
I like that.
That was good.
A lot of fun. Good. That's a good time to do it. He also had a goal and 5 assists in the All-Star games, and their team won. So that was fun. Good times. Metro Isles back. Have had one game this week. They beat Toronto 3-2 in Toronto. Always nice to see them sweep Toronto on the season. 4 straight. It's really nice to say that actually after with Tavares playing there. It really is. So I kind of mentioned earlier, first really almost completely full squad in a long time. We've had just been decimated on defense. Cizikas has been practicing. He's not ready. Maybe this week he'll be back. But he's skated with the team, so that's good. So in his state, Kyle McLean played for him, who ended up having his first career goal with his dad on the bench, John McLean, assistant coach, and scored on a nice little getting jailbroken out of the penalty box, breakaway.
Oh, right,
nice
right,
little,
yeah.
nifty little move. Anyway, the game ended up being 2-2 at some point. And then Peter Engvall in his return to Toronto scored the game winner. Gets a little bit of a nice little not revenge, but just, nice little thing to score on your turn back to your previous team. Team mixed it up. Clutterbuck was mixing it up with Tavares at the end of the game at the end of the whistle. Tavares is obviously getting pissed off that he keeps losing to the Isles. So it was great. Sorokin, again, monster. And also the Toronto goalie, I always forget that guy's name, Samsonov. I think it is. He played really, really well. There was a ton of back and forth opportunities, really good opportunities for both teams. And maybe it's just a lack of good defense, or just their teams just playing really well. Their forwards is playing really well, both sides. So that puts the Isles up to 2-2-1 since Watt's taken over, bookending the 2 wins in the first and the last games that they played. But I was, like I said, I felt like when they hired him that, really it's going to take a few weeks to really get them to really gel and figure out how they're playing with Watt. So, the game, they're playing a lot more consistent. I'm really enjoying watching them play when they play, under Watt now. But it'll be interesting to see when Cizikas is back and if they decide to, bench or trade Wallstrom. That guy's not looking like he's an NHL player. Aside from all the injuries he's had and just not being able to stay in the lineup, I think it's time for him to kind of move on. Just put someone else in there that's going to make a difference. But it's good to see that finally we're getting everyone back in the lineup, though. That's been important. And then homestand coming up this week, starting on Thursday with the Bolts, Saturday with the Flames, Kraken on Tuesday, all home games until the next game will be a bit of a break until the Stadium Series on the 18th, which will, of course, be our first Isles and Rangers game of the year.
We had our last Rangers Isles game. I don't think we had one in the calendar year 2023. It was all done in December, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all. I'm pretty sure you're right. It was all done very quick.
Holy
this year it's all
fuck.
late. So
and
bizarre.
Now they did not have a game in 2023. That blows my mind. Unbelievable.
I have to look it up now. I gotta look it up and when the last ones were.
Please do that. I think it was over in December, if I'm not mistaken. But holy hell, Bill, Penguins.
Okay, so the last time we convened was right after the own goal fiasco in Arizona. So since then, the Penguins.
Thank you for bringing that up again. We appreciate that. Made me laugh.
No problem.
Thank you for bringing that up.
They returned home and took on the Panthers and forced overtime in that game, but lost in the shootout. They scored a last-minute goal by Malkin to push it to overtime, but they did lose that one in the shootout. Subsequently, they closed out the break by beating the Montreal Canadiens in overtime. Marcus Pettersson with the overtime winner against the Canadiens last week before the All-Star break, and then today, just returning back from the All-Star break, they played the Winnipeg Jets, and Tristan Jarry got his league-leading 6th shutout. Tom had mentioned before the score was 3-1. It was not 3-1 because that goal got erased on an offside.
Shockingly, the linesman's got it wrong, huh? Holy shit.
Yeah, really. Also, we had another example in the game of a 5-minute major called against Winnipeg. Brendan, what's his name? Brendan, big doofy guy. Oh well, that guy from Winnipeg got tossed from the game for a hit on Nola Chari. I'm missing something right now. I can't.
It's 3-3.
I'm very distracted.
I told you they would come back. It's 3-3.
Colorado tied it. And the play before that, Luke Hughes just got
demolished. Yes.
Holy shit. Yeah. Poor guy.
So that catches us up on the Penguins. A shutout win tonight. They play next this Saturday in Minnesota, and this time Marc-Andre Fleury is going to be in the net against his former team. So looking forward to that one. And I got to stop talking because I'm going to have a coughing fit. Excuse me.
Wait. So they came back and played Tuesday night. Now they're off again till Saturday. Ugh.
That is correct. That is correct.
Ay. All right. And now it's time for Trivia with Bill. Yeah.
Now this is the wrong bell.
Oh, that was everybody?
Yeah, oops.
That's everybody.
Did I do good?
That was a good job.
That was really good.
Was me.
Okay. Excuse me. Who replaced his own brother as head coach of the Washington Capitals?
Patrick Waugh.
No.
Billy Waugh.
No.
Oh.
None of the Waughs.
Jack Hughes.
No. Jack's
Quinn
not a coach.
Hughes.
They haven't
Billy
started
Baldwin.
coaching yet for the Hughes boys. They'll probably
Alec
No.
Baldwin.
Was it one of the
that wasn't
Sittler
Baldwin.
brothers?
No, not a Sittler, not a
Billy
Sutter,
Beaver.
no.
Brent Gretzky.
No, not Brent Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky.
No, not one of the Gretzkys. We have not touched on the family yet.
Brandon Lemieux.
Not a Lemieux.
Brendan
No.
Lemieux.
Nope.
Claude Lemieux Jr.
Not Claude. Claude, not Mario.
James Patrick.
Not James Patrick.
Lester Patrick. That was his brother. Right?
No.
Oh.
That was his uncle.
They were not. No, they were not related. In fact.
Second suitor.
Just can you call him suitor number 2? Because so he sounds like something you do in the bathroom. Mike Gartner, since it's the Capitals.
No,
Ooh.
Mike was not the coach. So we're trying to find out who replaces his own brother as head coach.
Hank
No.
Gartner.
No.
Hank.
No.
Jaromir Jagr.
Ooh.
Jaromir Jagr was not the coach. No.
Bill Jagr.
He played for the Capitals?
No. Yes.
He
Jagr
did,
played
yeah.
for the Capitals. Yes.
Figured. Had odds are. Did.
That was only when he was on his second NHL team. Y'all are stumped. Is it time
Ted
for multiple
Lindsay.
choice?
Oh. Bill
Not Ted
Lindsay.
Not Ted or Bill Lindsay.
Great brother duo. Great brother duo.
Fred Bowman.
Dan Bowman.
Not his brother, no. Not a Bowman.
His son. But anyway.
Peter Laviolette.
Not Level. Not that guy.
Jim Laviolette.
Nope.
Who was the guy that coached the Devils back in the 80s?
Larry Robinson.
Not that guy. Not
Mrs.
that
Robinson.
guy. Jim Schoenfeld.
Jim Schoenfeld.
Schoenfeld. Well, that's incorrect, but you've touched on one of the families that's on the list, at least.
I love touching families.
Yes. Congratulations for that. That's incorrect, but that kind of goes with Kim Schoenfeld, who was B. So that's out.
Kim? His name was Kim?
Right.
Wait, there was a girl coach?
Crazy.
Right.
How about Don Cherry?
Not Don Cherry.
Who's that squirrely guy?
Darren
he coached
Pang.
Vancouver. He coached Vancouver and Nashville. What was that
McLean?
No. That Bruce Boudreau?
Bruce Boudreau, also on the multiple choice list, but not the answer.
Son of a bitch!
What are the other two multiple choice, please?
Oh, there's two multiple choice. Would be A, Terry Murray, or C, Milt Schmidt.
Milt Schmidt. Is it
Not
Milt?
Milt Schmidt.
Was it Milt Schmidt?
Smash Mills.
What an unfortunate.
It was
how
about the other guy? How about
the
that
other guy? Yes,
Yeah,
the
other
energetic
guy.
Terry Murray.
I am on
name.
fire.
That's the guy, Terry Murray. All right.
All right, great.
Nice, excellent job.
How many more questions in this stupid book?
There's about
many.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 6.
Thank God.
All right.
And now it's Money Talks with your host, Nick Loretta.
Money, it's a gas. Grab that cash with both hands and make a stash. New plug, give a fuck, G and daydream. Think I'll buy me a hockey team.
By the way, that was pretty good. Pretty good. By the way, the last time Isles and Rangers played, December 22nd, 2022.
Wow.
It's been
Son of a bitch.
more than a year.
Damn.
Yeah.
More an entire fucking calendar year. NHL, an entire calendar year.
Why did we only play each other 3 times last year?
Because
Sometimes,
we had
yeah.
to play Vancouver twice.
Oh, okay. I don't know what
Or
that means.
Calgary or Edmonton twice.
All right. Well, whatever. Anyway, Money Talks. So let's talk a little bit about the goaltending saga we currently have going on in Boston. We got 2 very interesting players in Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark. Last year, Ullmark was the de facto starter, Swayman backing him up, and this year it seems to be swaying a little towards Jeremy this year.
Oh, Nick, I saw what you did there. That was good.
So let's talk about other contracts and why I think this is kind of interesting thing to talk about. With the 2 goalies, where's their thing here? Swayman has a 1-year deal left. He's on a 1-year kind of like bridge deal. With about 3.475. It's pretty, reasonable amount of money. They obviously didn't want to pay him a lot last year to, with even though he looks really good, they're like, prove it kind of year. So he's proven it. He's killing it on in terms of, he's an all-star this year. He's got 2.3 goals against, 9.24 save percentage, both highs for him in his career. 16, winning. I think it's 16 wins so far, 3 shutouts in 27 games. He's having a pretty solid year so far. And not that Ullmark's not playing well or something. 2.78, 9.15 save percentage. He's doing fine by all metrics. 15 wins in 24 games. But what's interesting is the fact that Ullmark's got 1 more year left on his deal after this year. With at $5 million. So he's playing $5 million this year, $5 million next year. He becomes a UFA. He'll be 31 going to his UFA year. Swayman's an RFA this year, so he's 25. So this is kind of the last time to kind of keep him on the books, as an RFA. And
they have arbitration rights. He has arbitration rights this year. Is there a hammer next to his?
There's no hammer. No hammer. Oh yes, he's got arbitration rights. Yes.
Okay, good.
I see it. Yeah, yes. So anyway, he the point I was gonna make here is that he's a guy that could put everything chips behind and make him the goalie going forward. It's possible. He's 25. He's about to sign a big deal. He's clearly playing very well there. And then they could move. Potentially, they could move Ullmark, or reverse it. They could keep Ullmark for another year and get a ransom for Swayman right now.
Oh, man.
If they really wanted to, because there's a big hole in the number of teams that have missing a goalie here. I don't know enough about Boston's goalie pipeline here, and it's really hard to really ever even just see if you're going to get a good goalie out of any of these guys. But it's a pretty nice little spot they're in. They have 2 guys that are 1A, 1B, but with Swayman potentially signing at 7-8 million year deal going forward, because we haven't seen him for
did they win the Vezina last year?
Ullmark won the Vezina last year, right? If I remember correctly.
Hallmark won it last year, right? They won the Jennings Trophy though, right? The Jennings,
yeah,
they won the goalie trophy,
something
together?
like that.
Yeah,
yeah, whatever it was.
And,
Yeah,
and
so
Swayman, I don't know, and Swayman's 25.
25. He's getting that point where he's about to hit that stretch of being a goaltender where that's their best. And
What's his name in Winnipeg just signed for what, 9.5?
Hellebuck did, but the thing is that Swayman never really has had like for a long time as the starter. And in fact, he hasn't been the guy. Like, it's kind of a similar situation where the Sorokin came in with Varley, and what the Isles did was they just put all their chips behind, Sorokin, signed long term, 8 million or 9 million a year, whatever it is. We're paying Sorokin now 8.25. I was close. For like 8 years or whatever it is we signed him for. Now they could do the same thing and put all their chips against Swayman and sign him long term, and then let either Ullmark come back for cheap, or or just whatever. But that doesn't give you a lot of flexibility. Why it's important and why it's really interesting is if you look at Boston, they don't have a first round, second round, or third round pick this year.
Oh,
so
they will.
So they're not going to the Sphere. They're not allowed.
No.
And they don't have a second. They don't have a second next year. So they're really in a bind for like, prospect pool. I mean, I don't know what exactly all their guys right now look like coming in, but they're not obviously the Isles where they have like nobody in the pipeline. But man, they got a lot of guys aging. Pasha's in his prime, but Marchand's 35. He's not spring chicken. He could play till 40 probably if he wants to. But like everyone there is like UFAs, RFAs. There's not really a lot of great guys I feel like they've got signed here outside McAvoy and Lindholm, who are signed pretty long term as defensemen. Carlos played for a couple more years. But it's kind of like, where are they going to go? Now they could, like I said, they could make a big trade and go, you know what, Swayman, we like you, but we want to get like 2 firsts and some other prospect for you. Or do they move Ullmark at the deadline and say, you know what, it's the time to strike is now. We put all our chips on the Swayman and let him go? Or do you just let it all happen as it is and they just don't move Ullmark this year? Maybe they move him at the deadline next year. I think it's going to be interesting to see, because you got basically a situation where your defense is really pushing these guys' stats up. They're both playing well, but like we know, Boston's a good team. They've been a good team for a number of years, and that does help. So, I mean, do you make the change now? You just go all in with Swayman, or do you go, screw it, we're just going to get the most we can get for him? If someone throws a big package out there, do you take it and then just try to figure out your goaltending with Ullmark, in net for next? And he's 30. He's not like an old guy. He could be their goalie for 5 more years, no problem.
Not 15 or 10. Not 10 more years. Not 10 more years.
But that's problems, way in the future. When your short-term problems are coming up soon. Like, they don't have a lot of these draft picks coming up. So do you continue to?
Yeah, I think you got to trade. I think you got to trade one of them. Yeah, I'm with you. I think you got to restock the lake at some point.
At some point. So
what is Ullmark? Wait, what was Ullmark making?
5
this year and next.
And Swayman is RFA after this year, after making 2.75 or something around there. 3.4.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings up a question. What are you comfortable spending for the entire goalie position? Like, how much? What are you comfortable spending for the tandem? 10 million?
That's right. I think that's the best question to ask, because right now they're paying 8.475.
Right.
If they next year they're going to be paying definitely more than that.
Like 13.
They could be. It's very possible if they give him 8. So, but that'll be for 1 year. Not the worst. But the thing is, you have to, at some point, even with the cap going up, you got to figure out how much do you want to pay a backup goaltender.
Yeah.
Do you want to pay him $4, $5, $6, $7 million? I mean, I don't think that's what you want to pay if you're paying $8 million or so to your starter. So that's the interesting part. And I think it's just a unique time where they just they could make a move and surprise teams. And there's
Didn't
not
the
a lot of
Islanders
goalies
do
in the
that
market.
last year, though? Didn't the Islanders do that last year with Sorokin and Nabokov? Or not Nabokov, Jesus Christ.
Varley.
Whatever his fucking name. Yes.
I was saying we should trade. I was saying we should trade Varley. We already knew Sorokin was the guy. That was my thing. They didn't do it because the reason is Varley wants to be there. He's good friends with Sorokin. Sorokin wants him there. And so the brass was like, yeah, we're not going to make that. We're not going to sign this guy long term if we're not going to keep his guy here. So that's kind of what they did there. And it worked out. Varley's fine, but we didn't get an extra, draft
you didn't get the pick. Yeah, you didn't get what you could have gotten.
Right. Right. It's a risk, right? They could now. I'm not saying that trading like Ullmark would do the same. It's not two Russians together, and this is a American and a Swede, and that's not that that's a thing, but two guys that are not from the same country that one of them doesn't speak very good English. Obviously, they become friends very quick, and it's a little different scenario here. I think you have less of that. I think you have much more flexibility, and there's while there's a modified no trade for Ullmark, he's got 16 teams on the no list, half the league. It's not that's not that bad.
So let me ask you a question. So do you let Swayman go to arbitration, or do you buy him? You buy those 2 years of free agency out, and give him like a 5 or 6 year deal?
Oh, I definitely think he's going to get years. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he goes to arbitration, right, you probably keep his cap hit low for the next 2 years, right? You keep him at 5.5, 6.5, somewhere in that range. And then he gets the big contract after.
But then you got to re-sign Ullmark after next season.
I think Ullmark is gone. I think you trade Ullmark either in the summertime or at the deadline next year. But I don't think it's going to happen in season this year. But I think that's a summer deal for sure. And I think I'd push my chips in with Swayman because he's more of an up and coming. He's got the youth on his side. I think he's a better goaltender. Honest to God.
Every coach or GM will tell you if it's apples to apples, you take the younger person.
Yeah.
Always. Regardless of what they've done for your organization.
But in that kind of scenario, I think it's if someone's not giving up a shit ton for either one of these guys, then you're right. It's probably going to happen after the playoffs have ended because they're very much in the playoffs. They're very much going to be a contender. They're right there,
number one seed in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, so right I would say so. So I mean, it's hard to say trade now in this scenario for where they are. But
all right, so selfishly, you trade them to the Devils. You can get a Dawes or a Schmid in return and have that young backup.
Right.
It's not like you're not going to refill that position.
Exactly. That's where I'm going with that. And I think I was going to say was you could still get a trade for a young defense or even a veteran goalie that
just to fill that backup spot.
Just get a guy in that. It doesn't have to. It could be on a bad team and just being like, oh, he's not playing well. But no, he's playing on a shit team. And you pull him over, and all of a sudden he looks great, and you're like, no shit, because he's a good goalie, just not facing 40, 50 shots a night.
Because he wasn't playing it. He wasn't playing in Lindy Ruff's system anymore. He could actually make saves.
Yeah, because I think the goalie position would be easiest to come into a new team, a new structure, and flourish very quickly.
I would agree with that. But I think the summer's going to tell the tall tale about what happens in the Bruins situation. If he goes to arbitration.
Is the market as strong in the offseason as it will be at the deadline?
Oh, for goaltenders, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd much rather spend in season to make a difference than in the offseason.
But it's not happening this year. Boston's keeping both of their goaltenders this year. It's not happening.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to happen.
So that'll happen tomorrow.
If Swayman goes to arbitration, Ullmark and Swayman will be here for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
If they sign him long term, then it's going to happen.
Then it's going to be the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be the hammer that falls. But that was a good one. That was really
job.
good.
3 for 3, Nick.
Done.
Great new segment.
All right, let's go to this date, Steve's stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
Are we really?
I found one. I told you. I texted you. I sent you a text.
Watching the fucking game on my phone. I'm
problem.
looking at my phone. What?
It's sponsored by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Right here, we're saving calories. Right Round here we enjoy Coke Zero, but sacrifice flavor, no. Round here, Coke Zero's the way to go.
What year?
2018.
Jeez.
I actually found the one we were going to do
This one.
2 weeks ago.
2019.
This might be a weird one.
2017.
Okay,
what do you got?
Might be.
What day?
Go to December 23rd of 2018, please.
December 23rd. Boo. Breakfast, chocolate chip muffin, and a can of Coke Zero. Lunch was some Cheez-Its and a Coke Zero can.
Just Cheez-Its?
Just Cheez-Its, yeah. Eating light sometimes around the holidays. And dinner was a chicken parm sub from Brunswick Pizza and Coke Zero can. Tom, why did you pick December 23rd in the year 2018?
Sounds fucking delicious.
Oh, it was.
That was the day a Florida man bites his brother's penis off after he walks in on his brother having sex with his cousin on his favorite Dragon Ball Z blanket. In a bizarre event that could only happen in Florida or Ohio, I'll add the Ohio, a man has bitten his brother's penis off, and he has found, after he found him having sex with his cousin on his favorite Dragon Ball Z blanket. It is still unknown what pissed him off, the incest or the fact they did it on his favorite blanket, or maybe both. We don't know for sure. We may never know. What we do know is what he did was extreme. He was arrested and said that he regrets nothing. And this way, it will never happen again. And he's kind of right about that. Her cousin could only describe him as savage, and she hopes he rots in prison. His brother was hospitalized for several injuries, and he may never use his penis again because it was completely destroyed. Doctors are doing everything they can do to reconstruct it. And he said he did not come.
Tom's a creep. Tom is a weirdo. Where does he come up with the shit? It's so disgusting.
No, he bit it off. He can't.
Could not come. That's what happened December 23rd of 2018.
Wow.
I don't even. This is like one of those stories you don't even have to talk about because it's all there. You just
yeah.
What kind of teeth you gotta have to be able to bite it off like that? How long does that even take? Like, I can't imagine.
He still had it in his mouth. Ugh.
Gross.
Disgusting.
Okay, wrap it up.
Absolutely deplorable.
Wrap it up.
Where does Colorado go after this? They play the Islanders? No,
back to the
Carolina.
Loser column. That's where they're going.
No.
Jesus, they start off
pissed. Jesus.
They start off after the break. Rangers, Devils, Carolina. That's 3 and 4. Then at Florida. A couple days off at Washington, at Tampa. 2 straight weeks on the road after the All-Star break. Ugh. You got dealt a fucking shitty hand with that. Fuck them. It's Colorado.
Too bad. Fuck yeah. Fuck you. Who cares? You lost.
Fuck them.
Go home.
Fuck them. Back-to-back losses for the Avalanche. Good
Go
for
get
you.
your fucking shine box.
Whoa, my God. And that's going to wrap it up
man.
for us. Go on the Twix at friends_rivals. Go on to Apple Podcasts. We'll do all that stuff. But while you're there, turn on notifications for our podcast so you never miss an episode. Billy, don't cough. Say something witty.
Yeah, just want to remind you, because we didn't touch on it, that Jacob Trouba was suspended.
Oh.